Entry level here doesn't mean cheap. It means you're spending on what you actually feel in games, and cutting costs where it doesn't matter. The Ryzen 7 9800X3D is the chip you pick when you want gaming performance that stays strong even when the game is messy and CPU heavy. Now, the mistake people make in budget builds with a premium CPU is blowing money on the motherboard. You don't need a flagship chipset just to game well. You need stability, good memory support, and the features you'll actually use. So for this build, the motherboard is the ASUS TUF Gaming B650 Plus Wi-Fi. It's the kind of board you choose because you want it to work for years without drama. Built-in Wi-Fi, a sensible layout, and a platform that fits the CPU without paying for luxury features you won't touch. And if you want a smaller case, you shouldn't be left guessing. Here are the exact swaps. If you want micro ATX, use the Asus Prime AP201 case and pair it with a board from the MSI B850M Mortar Wi-Fi class. The point is simple. You can go compact without going cheap. If you want mini ITX, pick a real ITX AM5 board that's meant for modern Ryzen. Don't force a random older platform. This is where you pay for the small form factor, not for extra gaming FPS. For memory, don't overthink it. You want 32GB GDR5 6000 with an AMD EXPO profile. That's the practical sweet spot where performance and stability stop fighting each other. A great kit for this is G.SKILL Flare X5 DDR5 6000, and it's built specifically around AMD EXPO tuning. Storage is simple too. Start with a fast Gen 4 NVMe drive. The budget-friendly pick that still feels snappy is the Silicon Power UD90. It supports NVMe 1.4 and uses host memory buffer, which is totally fine for game loads and general use. Cooling is where you can save money without losing performance. The 9800X3D needs a real cooler, but it doesn't need a fancy AIO just to game properly. The Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 SE is perfect here. Big dual-tower design, strong airflow, and it's the exact kind of buy once, stop thinking about it part. Now the GPU. This is the part that defines what the build is for. For the most cost-efficient pairing that still makes sense with the 9800X3D, the GPU is a Radeon RX 9060 XT 16GB, and the card I suggest is the SAPPHIRE Pulse RX 9060 XT OC 16GB. It's a sensible 16GB card, and that VRAM matters more every year at 1440p. This pairing is built for two kinds of people. You play competitive games and want high FPS without spending crazy money on the GPU, or you want strong 1080p and 1440p gaming, and you care more about smoothness than maxing every ray tracing setting. Have in mind, though, that if you're the kind of person who turns on ray tracing in every game, and you want the cleanest upscaling experience, this GPU tier isn't the strongest place to do that. In that case, the NVIDIA competitor path is simple. Look at the closest tier card that fits your budget, and prioritize the feature set you'll actually use. Moving on, for the PC case, my choice is the Phanteks Eclipse G400A, because it's built for airflow and it's easy to build in. You get room for big GPUs, lots of fan mounts, and a layout that doesn't punish you on cable management. Next, the power supply is Be Quiet Pure Power 12M 750W. It's ATX 3.0, supports PCIe 5.1 GPU power standards, and it's the kind of PSU that you buy now so you don't have to replace it the second you upgrade your GPU later. All in all, this build gives you a strong AM5 foundation, excellent CPU performance, and a clear upgrade path. You're not wasting money, and you're not trapping yourself with weak supporting parts. At around $1,900, this is not really a budget PC, but when we're building with the 9800X3D, you can't be cheap.